So what makes the Lexicon 224 Digital Reverb here probably the most famous studio reverb in the industry, the most recognizable, and one of the most widely used? Well, thanks to Universal Audio, we're about to find out. So, from its unmistakable slider controls to its world-famous reverb tails, it's true. The Lexicon 224 Digital Reverb here has been an industry studio classic since its beginning in the late 70s. And now the team at Universal Audio has captured all of that magic in this incredible detailed plugin version. And I'm so excited about this. My name's Carlo Libertini. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We're happy to have you joining us here. All right, let's rock and roll. Now, I prepared a small little demo, some drums, guitars, a little piano riff for us to give us different kinds of elements to hear the magic behind this digital reverb. But it is a really incredible reverb. There's only so much we could really demo together today. But you know what? We're going to have some fun. Let's take a listen to this session I've got here. Drums, sounds great on drums. Sounds great on acoustic guitar. It is so versatile, amazing on vocals. And we're gonna go over some of these parts and kick some tires. Did I mention world famous reverb tail? Why don't we start there? All right, I have my acoustic guitar right here. Let's solo this. And right now we're looking at the Lexicon 224 Digital Reverb on an acoustic guitar. Let's bring it up. Let's bring in the main guitar riff. Doesn't that sound amazing? So just for fun, I'm going to push up the reverb time. Ready? Check this out. So musical. It helps if you're listening to this with headphones on because this is just an amazing, amazing tool. And Universal Audio did a great job capturing all this. Let's take a look at the interface because I think this is really important. Now, I remember walking into a recording studio and first seeing one of these. This is actually faithfully modeled after the physical hardware. What you're looking at here is a representation of the remote unit. This wasn't the reverb unit itself. This was how you controlled it. The real reverb came off of this plug here. You can see a little simulation of it in this corner here in the graphical interface into what I think was a 4-rack processing module, which was really innovative at the time. When you think about the late 70s, this was cutting edge, and it still has stood the test of time today, especially thanks to Universal Audio, how they painstakingly modeled every detail. So what we have here is the left-right meters, and then we have a segmented, right here, readout, and then values for seconds, milliseconds, hertz. And if you've never worked with one of these before, it's really simple. When you select one of the slider controls down here, you would see this value adjust accordingly. For example, if I grab the mid-reverb time, you could see that it's in seconds. It's telling me in seconds. If I grab the treble decay, you should see it's now in hertz. If I bring it really down, it'll switch to hertz, and higher values are obviously kilohertz. So it's very simple and intuitive that way. Pre-delay is now in milliseconds, right here indicated by ms. And bass, that would be in seconds here, the reverb time, and so on. So you can actually use these sliders to mold the type of reverb you want. And speaking of type of reverb that you want, obviously, you're going to want to start here with the program area. Now you can see we have 8, small hall, vocal plate, large hall, chamber, percussion, small, room A, and then we've got another plate. And then underneath are some parameters to specify how they're going to behave. For example, one of them here, by the way, talk about faithfully modeled, is system noise. They even captured the electronic character, if you will, the noise floor of these hardware units. So if you wanted that, you could activate it here or you could deactivate it. Now, why would you want that? Well, because it preserves a sort of heritage for you, and it may do something to your audio you like. And there it is, you've got that choice. Thank you, Universal Audio. There you go, rear outs, decay, enhance mode. Let's start there. I'm gonna boost my reverb time quite a bit here. Let's take a listen to this and do some demos. Speaking of reverb tails, as we did earlier. Beautiful. I'm gonna take enhance mode off and hear the difference. Listen critically, okay? Sounds more metallic-y, doesn't it? Well, enhance mode obviously is going to give you a different type of mode. Now, when would this work? Well, if you're using enhance mode and wanted more detail in your reverb, orchestral, piano, maybe different styles of vocal, R&B, jazz, if you maybe found that taking the enhance mode off might sound great on things like drums or bass guitar or maybe, you know, a certain type of vocal. Well, again, you have that attention to detail here. And then obviously we've got a wet dry mix. We can lower and increase the wet dry mix, and you can solo the sound too. All right, now let's go back to some of these settings. Here is a small hall. I'm gonna lower my reverb time a little bit. Make things a little more intimate. There we go. Let's try the vocal plate. That sounds really nice. I'm going to increase the reverb time a little bit. Let's try the large hall. I'm going to really increase this for effect. Here we go. Now, next to the enhanced mode, we have decay optimization. Here's a tip for you. This is going to improve the clarity as well. Without this, let's try it without the optimization. Let's bring it in. I probably would try that on a piano. But again, it's to increase clarity. So you got mode enhancement and decay optimization. I tend to leave this one on quite a bit, and both of them. You know, maybe I'm a purist that way, but I guess it might be handy to create presets with different options here if you wanted. And we're going to get to presets soon. Okay. Speaking of presets, why don't we jump into our piano? I'm going to take this off and let's solo our piano riff. And I have the Lexicon here. I think piano is an amazing musical instrument to help demo reverbs. Oh, I just love, love, love that. I'm going to play that again from the beginning. Now, you can see I'm using a preset called Plateau Piano. Ah, just absolutely beautiful. Now, underneath the options, you do have the sliders. And I mentioned before, you could say, well, let's say I want to put the piano in a chamber, and I'm going to take the noise off and leave enhanced mode and optimization. And I'm going to lower my treble decay a little bit, bring my bass down. Maybe I don't want a lot of reverb time in the low end. Want to boost my mid reverbs here and raise my depth of hair. Let's go 50% actually. And now what are we doing? We're creating a preset now. Wow. That sounds great. Here's without. A mono microphone, by the way. Now here's with that preset we just created instantaneously, just like I showed you. That easy. Now I'm going to open up the preset browser for us to show you. Let me move this over a little bit. And here we have the preset browser. Now, if you've seen some of our other videos featuring Universal Audio plugins, you'll be very familiar with this window right here. Universal Audio has a really excellent continuity with their plugin browsers that is wonderful because they're really intuitive, easy to use. For example, let's say you wanted to make a brighter sounding reverb. Well, here's the type. You can scroll down to see more here if you want. We've got keys, room, drums, medium, short. You can start with the style, the flavor, the character if you want it. I'll choose bright, and it'll repopulate my options with brighter presets. Let's go to like a lush piano. Let's try that. Wow, that sounded amazing. You know what? When you find one you like, you can tweak it a little bit. I keep losing this window because I want to fit the whole thing in like that. I don't know why it keeps resizing itself. There, that's how I want it. I wish it could, maybe in the future, Universal Audio, if you're watching, it could be like a slide out panel. That might be a good idea. But anyway, I digress. Let's tweak this preset. Check it out. I'm going to lower the reverb time a hair and the bass, and let's bring the treble decay down a little bit. And I don't need too much more pre-delay. Let's listen to this. We'll bring it back to the beginning. There we go. I love it. Now, if you like it, then you can obviously choose to save this. And it's going to give me an option right here to name it. I usually use my prefix, my first initials, and I could call it lush piano, maybe since it was from a preset, edit, and then hit save. Now, I could even favorite that by toggling the star here. Favorites, if I come up to favorites now, it's going to show me my favorites here. I've got lush piano and plateau piano. Here are these two favorites that I created for this particular recording. And it's as easy as that. I could switch between them now. Here's the plateau piano, and here is the lush piano. You can see it labeled out right up there. All right, now to go back to where we were, we could actually, let's see, we could browse, we could search, which is a nice way to do it. Let's say I wanted something, some kind of long piano tails. I could even, if you don't want to go by tags, you can go by, sort by the name, the number preset, or you can show the number of presets too. And did I mention this also does a chorus? So if you wanted to have chorusing, I believe this does chorus. Now, I've never used this for chorusing myself, but I have no doubt that it sounds absolutely amazing. All right, now let's go back to our mix and let's solo our drums. Let me take this piano off and let's have a little bit of fun. I'll bring in the bass and drums right here from the beginning. I have the Lexicon 224 on my snare drum. Let me bring the bass out. Here we go. So I mentioned before about the decay. I'm going to take the optimization off and the enhance mode off. Maybe get a little more granular with the reverberation there. And I did. Again, I recommend using headphones and listening to the snare drum. Here, I'll bring it up a little bit. And I believe I'm also doing a gated effect there, which is a famous trick from the 90s, if you remember that. Let me bring in the Lexicon again. And yes, you could do a really quick and dirty gated reverb sound. Let me bypass the gate. Now I'm going to gate just the reverb. I have the reverb on before the gate. Ready? See how that changes the effect? I love it. Here's without. Here's with. And there you have it. So what we did is we crafted a reverb that we liked or found a preset here called Live Room that I edited. And then I threw a gate on afterwards to create that gated effect. It's just another way of utilizing the Lexicon 224 Digital Reverb plugin here by Universal Audio in a real workflow scenario in your mixes. Now I could go on and on and on because, as I mentioned before, it's a really fun way to interact with the plugin because it's so reminiscent of the actual hardware. And the results are great. But thankfully, being a plugin now, you have the added ability of storing those presets to give you instant recall every time. And you can automate and you can put this in as many tracks as you want. Plus, not to mention, this particular reverb, the hardware version and now the plugin, it has been on absolutely countless records. You've grew up listening to this reverb and you probably didn't even know it. So the best way, of course, is to find out for yourself. Visit some of the links below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, become part of our team here at Music Marketing. We're so happy to have you. And most of all, just stay busy and stay creative.